And now, CL 650 presents your source for leading-edge news and information on today's hottest products and services. This is Experts on Call.
Hello and welcome to Experts on Call here on CL 650. Sterling Fox with you, joined in studio by the master of appliance knowledge, Jack McIvers from McIvers Appliances is back with us. Nice to see you again, Jack.
Yes, good to see you again, too. Every 3 months we get to meet.
Well, it's
and run these nice information tidbits.
Okay. Well, you can call them that if you'd like. I enjoy our conversations very much. I think we should start by reminding people, Jack, that McIvers is now past its 50th anniversary in business in Vancouver. That happened just a few months ago. So talk to us about 50 years in the same business, in the same market. The reasons for the success, mostly, Jack, are?
Well, the reasons are picking good products to sell and then have long life in them, and then repairing appliances that the people had or bought and keeping them going. They come to rely on my expertise as to if I pick it, they'll buy it.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing is that they've all saved a ton of money.
So it's not only the ability to advise about the right products in the first place, but it's also, I suppose, literally decades of knowing that the follow-up service is always going to be there. All you need to do is pick up a phone.
That's correct. And no one goes out to fix anything until they're totally trained and competent.
Okay. And now you've been doing this service. It's never just been about sales, ever, has it? It's always the package. And if you buy from McIvers, you buy a quality product and you buy the assurance that should anything ever go wrong, there'll be someone from McIvers out there to have a good look and fix whatever the problem is.
Yes, and quite quickly too.
Right. And now that's just not the way things are done in 2015 in the business very much anymore, is it?
No. It's because it's difficult. It's not easy to run a business that's sales and service.
Right, right.
Especially with the products today that the people are selling. The big stores are selling products that are not fit for the purpose they're designed for.
All the more reason to have a large service department, don't you think?
Well, no, because they're not fixable, really.
Oh.
No, I mean it's not. It's not a type of era where the customer can go out and pick a Maytag and say, okay, well, that's good. I've had my Maytag for 40 years and I'm going to buy another one.
Right, right.
If they make that error, they don't want it after the first year because it doesn't perform like the old Maytag.
Oh, okay.
We have deregulated appliances with costly computers in them. And that's where the difficulty is. So I've made it my business not to get involved with computers unless they're under around $200. If a self-cleaning stove's got a $200 computer in it, that's not too bad because it's close to the value of a timer.
Okay.
If a dishwasher has a $200 timer in it, then I'll sell that unit because it's not too expensive.
Right.
I've seen computers in dishwashers that sold for $1,500, $2,000.
The computer itself?
No.
The overall package?
Oh, that happens too. Oh yeah, they can get up that expensive in the really expensive high-end stuff.
Interesting.
But no, it's just the fact is that you go to look at the unit and it's got a motor problem. And the motor problem is $500, but it's damaged the computer. Also when it failed. So then we're sitting and looking at $1,200, $1,500, and they say, well, I only paid $1,500 for this dishwasher.
Right.
And how much is a new one you're selling? And at that time, I think we were selling a Maytag dishwasher for $600. So out would go that one,
right,
and in would go the Maytag with a timer in it.
Mm-hmm.
So it all revolves around the costly components that are being forced on people because they make more money on it by either they fix it and spend lots of money or they throw it out and buy another one. And because everything's a monopoly now, it's just between really 3 to 4 companies.
Okay. So back to the servicing element that seems to be so rare in 2015. You've had a fleet of trucks and service personnel on the streets of Vancouver for 50 years. And you've been practicing environmentally sound policies at McIvers Appliances since long before anybody thought of it as a way of doing business. You've had your fleet of trucks on natural gas for what, 20 years?
Yes, yeah, a little over 20 years, yeah.
And so reducing the carbon footprint, which is the popular way of describing all of that these days.
Well, it's a 50% less pollution into the environment.
Right, exactly. Is that why you did it in the first place, or was it just economics at the time?
Well, it was both.
Okay.
But I would prefer to run on natural gas, and I have for this length of time, but now they're taking it away from us.
How so?
Well,
this is the province whose future is apparently dependent in a very large way on the success of natural gas.
Well, it isn't going to be for the citizens of British Columbia. The citizens of British Columbia, it appears, because they're taking the last 2 stations away from us, which we've been using. You have to drive, you know, you spend half your gas driving to where they are.
Oh, these are the natural gas filling stations?
Right.
And they're reducing the number of them around town.
If they're going to take these away, they're highest performing stations, you know, like each truck probably spends $500 or $600 per month.
Right.
On natural gas,
mm-hmm.
and they were all going there to these 2 places. So it's just a situation that appears to me that it's the government's sneaky way. Years ago, a native from Musqueam mentioned to me that he'd heard that they were going to save the natural gas to melt the oil sands. Okay. And not have the people like us using it, and which may or may not have been true. It was something that he'd heard.
Okay. And this is a while ago now.
Oh, it's a few years ago.
Okay. Right.
But I thought to myself at the time, well, why would they do that? This cuts down pollution.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, they're going to do it, and I guess we'll all find out what it'll be like.
But in the meantime, the McIvers service fleet continues to run on natural gas, albeit a little more difficult to get to these days.
No, it's going to only be till next month, and that's it. The stations are gone.
Oh, is that right?
Not the stations, but the natural gas pumps are gone.
So will you have other options, or will you have to reconvert back to?
No, I can run. I mean, the truck runs on gas. It's
right.
a dual fuel.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay.
So that's not the point. It pollutes more. And it costs twice as much.
Right. How much of the service work do you still do, Jack?
Oh, probably maybe $200,000 a year worth.
Oh, my. So, again, it's a guy who's, you call McIvers Appliances. You can actually call and ask for Jack. And if you're in the building, you'll take the call. And otherwise, Karen will take it and get all the information, and she's almost as knowledgeable as you are. And between the 2 of you, if there's a service call required, that happens pretty quickly, and in many cases, it features, well, you.
Yes, and the thing is that I'm not as costly as the other people.
And is that because the product was purchased originally at McIvers and the service component is part of the price?
Well, the service component, for instance, on service calls to new customers is lower than the majority of the people in the service business today.
Okay, gotcha. Right.
Because we're selling appliances, and we're also running a coin-operated business in apartment buildings, which needs service also.
Sure.
So between all the servicing we do, if you charge too much, you really don't get the job.
Right.
But I'd rather get the job and keep everybody working and, have a, who wants to be the highest price? I don't. I might make more money than they do because of my expertise.
Right.
But that doesn't mean I charge more.
Right.
Or as much.
Interesting stuff. Now, we're talking about the 50 years. Now, 50's just a little over 50 years. And in a lot of cases, Jack, a lot of the clients that you've been servicing and dealing with for many decades now, you're dealing with multiple generations of clients within one family group. Mom and dad bought a set of appliances, and now the kids are out getting married and moving into their old home, new homes. And, well, mom and dad say, well, best place in town to go is where we went. Go to McIvers. And so you're getting that second, and in some cases now third generation people coming by the store.
Absolutely. And the difference is that the treatment is a lot different than the big box stores, because they're fine on the sale. But after the sale, the delivery might not be so good. The after-sale service, if it's required, can be a disaster. And I've heard many people say never again to some of the best names you know. Because of they're ineffective in their service, and they're sometimes damaged stuff in moving. They're just not as good as we are.
Well, I was just going to say, but you've identified two categories there, because you're talking about delivery and service, and those aren't necessarily services that are provided by the same supplier. Even there may be a delivery contractor who will deliver the appliance to your home and install it. But if something goes wrong, that person is not likely to be the one that would come back for a service call, right?
No, because they don't know anything about it.
And at McIvers, the opposite is the case.
You install. The service people do the deliveries and the installations professionally.
Right.
No problem. Everything's taken care of before we leave the building. And that way we outperform anyone in the business.
I want to talk about warranties and those sorts of things, but we don't have a lot of time right now to do that. But back to the customer base. What's the secret, Jack, to not only having customers with you and enjoying their new family members coming along and also becoming part of the business, but just what's the secret to sustaining a business for 50-plus years in a tough, competitive marketplace like Vancouver?
Some of it comes from advertising, Sterling. I mean, I've always been a professional advertiser, and I've always put a certain amount of money into advertising.
Right.
So that we're, reintroducing ourselves to some customers, and then they say, "Oh yeah, I bought McIvers. Yeah, oh yeah, McIvers.
I remember that name. Sure, yeah.
I'll go see them, or I'll call them."
Right.
That's one good thing, and radio's been the best for me. For that contact.
The best medium for the message.
Yeah, that's right. And so that's why we run our commercials, and people hear them, and many comment to me, "I really like your commercials, Jack." And I says, "Well, that's nice. I appreciate that."
So consistency is part of it as well, because you've always been the spokesman for the company. You're the front man for this. So in addition to being the service guy and the technical expert and the product expert, you're also the spokesperson for McIvers Appliances, as you should be. It's got your name on it.
Absolutely.
But still, it's that consistency of messaging over the decades that, again, people come to rely on that. They know this guy's been around forever.
Well, when we advertise what we're doing and what kind of products we're selling, and etc., we mean it. I mean it. I mean that they're going to get the best possible value for their dollar when they deal with us. If they want appliances to last a long time, we're the best place to go to, because the products we sell are good. And the servicing of them takes place until they're worn right out.
Right.
At the moment in the shop, there's a 14-year-old Hibbs washer and dryer. It's had some minor repairs done on it. The owners of those machines own the largest natural drugstore in British Columbia, and I've dealt with them for around 40 years.
Okay.
And they bought a lot of some appliances they bought from me are rebuilt in their home.
Mm-hmm.
They're not ostentatious people.
Right.
They just want the stuff to work good.
Exactly.
So it's I finished off the washing machine this morning, and the dryer was done a couple of days ago. When she comes back from her holiday, it'll go back probably for another 10 years.
Mm.
And it's 14 years old. And it's done lots of work.
And it's well maintained
and well made.
That's right.
So it can be rebuilt. Yeah.
In studio with us on this episode of Experts on Call, Vancouver's, well, master of appliance knowledge, Jack McIver from McIvers Appliances down there at 610 Southeast Marine Drive in South Vancouver, and online at McIvers.biz. That would be B-I-Z. Check it out while we take this quick timeout on CIL 650.
This is Experts on Call on CIL 650.